I've been asked to read a letter that Steve Scrovan wrote to Will when Will was in the midst of some very difficult periods of his illness. The letter goes, "Dear Captain Cranky, I think I started calling you that when you were on some tirade at Star about how terrible California was. The people, the weather, the earthquakes. And when I asked you how many times you've been there, I believe you said, never." That always makes me smile. I like to think that maybe you were a little upset that Shelley and I had moved there so far away, and this was your curmudgeonly New England way of expressing that. I hope you are grateful that I made you a captain, by the way. You bypassed Private Cranky and Corporal Cranky and shot right at the captain. However, after all these years, I do believe you are due for some sort of promotion. Therefore, I hereby dub you Colonel Cranky. Congratulations, you've earned it. Consider it a battlefield promotion because now, more than ever, you have a good reason to be a little cranky. And so do the rest of us. I hope you can hear this because I want you to know how vivid you are in my mind and always will be. And it makes sense because you are a vivid person. Everything about you is distinctive. Your voice, your posture, your demeanor, your goddamn hair. I've always admired your ability to work with your hands and actually make things that you can touch, that you can use, that you can sit in and eat off of, things that last. I can't do any of that shit. And most of all, you make things that produce beautiful music. I don't know how many banjos you've made or how many you've sold, but I'm guessing that there are a fair number of them scattered across the country, maybe even the globe. And every time someone plays one of your banjos, your spirit, the spirit of Will Fielding, floats into the air, filling the room with joy, love, and happiness. I've never heard a sad banjo. That's quite a legacy to leave. It's a legacy that will never die. And for that, Colonel, I salute you.
John 152 banjos.
Good old hen, she lays her eggs for the railroad man. Sometimes one, sometimes two, that's enough for the whole day crew. Like old hen, fucking sing, ain't laid eggs since way last spring. Like old hen, fucking squall, ain't laid eggs since way last fall. Like old hen, fucking sing, ain't laid next since way last spring. Like old hen, fucking squall, ain't laid next since way last fall. Like old hen, I'll tell you, clock in the day and the night time too. Clock in the yard, clock in the lot, and next time you clock, you'll clock in the pot. Like old hen, fucking sing, ain't laid next since way last spring. Like old hen, fucking squall, ain't laid next since way last fall. A gold hen put in singing, laid eggs since way last spring. A gold hen put in squawing, laid eggs since way last fall.
So I'm aware that we have many of our community outside, and so I'm going to ask the folks on the steps if you all will move in, and you all can move in too and make space for them. And then if there's anybody outside who wants to come in and tell a story, there's space for that to come up the stairs.
So I've been listening carefully, and I am one of those kids who was in children's group with Will. And how many of you were around for some of the junior teen and senior teen programs? Some of you I know. And I remember when Will and his little brother came to Star, and we would cause a certain amount of trouble and learn from each other and explore things, and it was glorious. Ever since then, Will has been such an important part of this community and has given so much in so many ways, all of which you've heard. I was struck when Ben's dad died by something David Yermak said, which was, if you want to see his monument, look around. It is certainly true about Will. I told Paula that I have been turning around the entire week because I keep hearing not only Steph and Tom playing banjo, but I keep thinking that I'm hearing him, or I will think that I have seen him out of the corner of my eye. And I keep thinking that I'm hearing his laugh. I remember so vividly all those years that we spent together. I remember the counter-authority nature of him and who he was, including that morning when Ben and I were doing the wake-up singing, and he greeted us perhaps less tired than one might have wished. I remember all of the beautiful things that he built. All of these things are part of his monument and things to celebrate. And those are things that I know we all will treasure forever. Blessings.
Wait, can you come out? Okay.
I'm
Hold on,
Ray
wait.
Hallows
Wait up.
from Princeton, New Jersey. And some people don't.
Okay, it's
So
hard to
listen to
hear.
me while I'm not coughing into the mic. And I'll tell you that I met some of the Fieldings in Princeton, as I say, and coming to know them here and appreciating all the music, I have the great privilege of having videotaped and then put to DVD Will with his banjo picking on the front porch of the Oceanic. And I suggest that we all speak louder and don't hold the mic up into this. It's tops. You hear it?
So is that on YouTube by any chance, Ray? YouTube? We don't do it on YouTube. Ready?
I have not put it on YouTube.
Oh.
I am not a YouTube person.
Well, do you know someone who is a YouTube person? They could put it on, that would be great.
Henry.
Ask anyone under 13.
Yeah, Will's definitely a brother. I think what I need to say about Will is he has left his spirit here on the island, for sure. He's earned his space amongst the ghosts. And he'll be here, you know, even if he haunts the turnstile. But what I really want to talk about is, as I told you this about earlier, you know, when I held by in the driveway of his house in Vermont, he was going to California, I kind of thought it might be the last time. So, you know, when I heard, that, you know, and was near, I was, well, I'm going to have to come to grips with this, you know, but I never cried about it. I never thought it was real. And then, you know, he died, and felt bad about it. But then one night, he started visiting me in dreams. And, you know, I wrote some of them down, but this is the one that actually was strong that I remember, was that I was in a treehouse, and he came up from the lower level of the treehouse, and he kept trying to tell me what I was doing and how I should do it. And I kept telling him, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I kept cutting him off. It's a dream. And finally he looked at me and said, well, what do you want? You know, he looked at me, and I just grabbed him and hugged him as hard as I could in this dream. And I woke up sobbing in my bed. You know? And it's the first time I actually came to grips with the fact he was gone. You know, Will's been a really strong part of my life. I followed him pretty much everywhere he went. You know, it's like I wouldn't be in Vermont if it weren't for Will. I wouldn't have worked in a guitar factory if it weren't for Will. You know, it's just everywhere. You know, I wouldn't be working for the people I work for now if it weren't for Will. I'm just kind of, you know, he always paved the way for me. And I thought I'd always be there. That's it.
Thank you.
That's great.